Jungle Book. So The Jungle Book is directed by Jon Favreau, who is the director of Iron Man and a few other little films. So the movie starts off and it's Mowgli in the jungle, and I just have to say, this movie looks great. The movie, the actual look and the scope of this film is fantastic. I could not believe what they were able to do with this movie. I thought I was going to go into the movie and it was going to look like this CGI, like, obvious piece of crap. But it honestly isn't. It's really, really good. It's really, really well done, and you can tell the people who worked on the CGI worked their asses off for this movie. There isn't a single moment in this movie that I did not believe. Not one shot that I was just like, oh, that looks like CGI, or, oh, that looks a little fake to me. No, the whole thing looks real. Same with the animals. All of the animals look like actual animals. They don't have like a weird face on them, except for like Shere Khan, who has like a burn mark, like, you know, on half of his face. Kind of like, I was gonna make a Two-Face reference. And another thing is that the voice acting, oh my god. Whoever was the casting director for this movie deserves an Oscar. There should be like an Oscar for like best casting. And this movie, honestly, so far this year, would win. The casting choices made in this film are awesome. They're phenomenal. I could not believe it. With Bill Murray playing Baloo, I was just laughing so hard at him just tricking Mowgli into just doing stuff for him. Just like getting him food, building him like just stuff so he can like get like honey. It's hilarious, and it's by far probably one of my favorite little bits in the movie. Also, Ben Kingsley is Bagheera, also awesome actor. This guy is in like every movie. Ben Kingsley is like the go-to guy. Like if you can't get any other guy, you just go like, hey Ben Kingsley, you want to be in our movie? And he's just like, yeah, sure. He's that good. He can just do what he wants. And then there's Scarlett Johansson as Kaa, and she is, wow, that scene was so good. It reminded me so much of like the old version, and that's kind of like how these things work. Remakes kind of like to reference each other, you know, their older, you know, predecessors. They pretty much just like to call back to each other, and this movie actually does it pretty well. I actually didn't seem annoyed at all when I saw like all of these, you know, old scenes recreated for, you know, this new movie. And the scene with Kaa was great. I mean, yeah, it does kind of get a little exposition heavy during that scene, but it wasn't that half bad. It was a good scene. It was really, really good. Let's talk about Idris Elba. This guy. Oh. Okay, so Idris Elba plays Shere Khan, and oh my god, I can't even think of a better villain that we've had in 2016. So far, Idris Elba is the best movie villain we've had in the entire year. At least, well, so far. This guy is menacing, he's ruthless, he is going to stop at nothing to get what he wants, and basically just what he wants is Mowgli dead. He just wants to kill Mowgli because he hates mankind. He hates man, so all he wants is just this kid, this like little 8-year-old, 7-year-old kid to just be dead. He doesn't want him to go back to the man village. He doesn't care if he's gone from the wolf pack. He wants him dead. He's by far one of the best parts of this movie. Every time Shere Khan was on screen, I was just like, whoa, I do not want to mess with this guy. This guy scares me. And now, I do have, you know, some qualms with the movie, and the first of it is, I saw it in 3D. I see a lot of movies in 3D generally because less people go to the 3D showing of movies. I like to go to it because I think that the 3D can really enhance a movie. Sometimes it goes either way. It doesn't. Sometimes it still kind of looks the same. Other times it can really look awesome. But for some reason, like, I couldn't tell, like, if there was something wrong with, like, the glasses that I got, or if, like, the polarizers hadn't been adjusted correctly. So, or, like, they weren't, like, lined up, you know, right? But, like, there were some scenes where, like, it almost kind of hurt my eyes to watch the movie. There were also some scenes that were actually very difficult to actually see, especially, like, the background. The backgrounds just looked all, like, you know, kind of like doubled up and all like hazy and weird, and they didn't quite look right. And I was thinking, I was like, well, the animators did work so much time onto making this movie look good. I really doubt that that is the actual like finished product of, you know, the background of their film. But maybe that was just a thing that happened with, you know, my glasses, or, you know, something weird with the projector. I don't know, but just for safety's sake, I would actually recommend seeing it in regular 2D. Another thing is that the Jungle Book story never really interests me. It doesn't ever really give me that hook that I can just, like, hold on to and, you know, just sit on while, you know, the movie is just, you know, taking me along for a ride. I always kind of feel disinterested with the story of the Jungle Book whenever I watch the old animated one, or if I watch this one. I just wasn't that interested in the actual plot line of the story, which I guess is just, you know, a thing that I have. I just don't really particularly like that story. But luckily, I was able to enjoy the characters and the voice acting and just the all-around scope of the movie so well that I was able to, you know, still enjoy the movie, even though that luckily I was able to get Luckily I was able to get more invested with the characters and the actual, like, scope of the movie and the way it looks, that the story didn't really bog it down that much, and I was still actually invested in these characters, which are really, really good. One other thing, and then we'll get into the final verdict. Neil Sethi, who plays Mowgli. This is his first movie, and he looks like he's about 7 or 8 years old. So basically what he does is he's basically acting against nothing. Basically, on set, he's just standing there and he's pretty much acting against all of these animals that are supposed to be around him. But in all reality, there isn't really anything there. There's just a green screen and a little bit of, like, set. Like, maybe they have, like, little, you know, like, little, like, balls on sticks or something, you know, for him to look at, but there were points in the movie where it shows. However, look at it this way. So, you're a young, aspiring actor, and you are trying to make a name for yourself. So you go into this audition for a play, and more than likely than not, you will read a piece of the script, you know, for the casting directors, and then they might ask you if you have a couple of monologues to perform, and if you do, then you perform that. So basically what happens is that you're in this brand new open space to perform these monologues, and you have to pick a spot in the room to look at, because in monologues you're actually supposed to be talking to, like, another person, or maybe even an audience. But, you know, it's just person for now. Analogies and whatever. So you decide to look, you know, at this person, and you have to make it look believable that you're actually talking to a real person. Even though that person isn't there, you have to make it look like that person is actually there and you are actually having a conversation with that person. And this kid does for about 2 hours what's actually kind of difficult to do for about 5 minutes. So, honestly, the kid who played Mowgli did a pretty good job. Alright, now it's time for the final verdict. Because the story isn't that interesting to me, and the 3D really kind of distracted from the rest of the film. The 3D did kind of distract from the rest of the film. However, the characters were great, the visuals were awesome, and it was really, really fun to watch, especially Christopher Walken's King Louie, which I did not mention, but is great. Just awesome. Perfect casting. Perfect casting the whole way around. It was great. I enjoyed pretty much most of the movie, and for that I am going to give The Jungle Book a 7 out of 10. So what's your favorite version of The Jungle Book? Do you prefer to watch it as a movie, or do you prefer to read it as a book? Whatever it is, let me know in the comments below, and I will see you next time.